Seeing a lot of knee-jerk reactions to the debate. Megan just really laid it out, especially on the Democratic side. But at the same time, we're getting a new CBS YouGov poll taken right after the debate that shows nearly half of Democrats have changed their opinion on Biden. Lots of caveats, not the ideal polling window right after the debate, big margin of error. We're going to show you the number right here. We won't really know how people feel into November, a lot to go until then. But are we also seeing, in your mind, a knee-jerk reaction when it comes to investors, either institutional or retail, based on that debate result?
Yeah, I mean, based on the conversations that I had in the wake of the debate, I mean, I think there was a level of surprise and shock over the president's performance, and so I think there is a view now that the prospects of Trump being elected have gone up. So I think most investors went into the debate thinking that Trump was going to be elected. I think that number's gone up.
Does that change how you think people are viewing their portfolios, or especially institutional investors, just changing their view of the market and the investment opportunities out there?
There are definitely questions of asking what sectors would benefit and what the tax bill might look like, because there's going to be a tax bill regardless of who wins. Definitely some conversations in energy, some conversations in financials and banks, definitely a rethinking of which sectors do the best if Trump wins.
Why don't we go through a few of them? I mean, I think the natural one to talk about is tech, of course, tech power in the market right now. Does it matter if Biden or Trump wins when it comes to the tech sector?
Yeah, tech is one of those sectors. It is interesting. I think it has few friends in Washington. Both parties have become more populist. Tech is a target for both parties. They target from different directions. The focus is different depending on the party. But big tech, social media does not have a lot of friends. The Justice Department is going to continue to look at tech, regardless of whether it's a Trump administration or a Biden administration. I mean, I think there are a lot of people that are close to President Trump who are very complimentary of the antitrust team in the Biden administration. J.D. Vance from Ohio, for example, has been very complimentary of the head of the FTC. The FTC. And so, yeah, I don't think tech does it all that well, regardless.
Okay, so no friends on either side of this campaign.
Right.
What about financials? Obviously, last week we had the stress test for the banks. We also got their capital return plans, boosting dividends, announcing buybacks.
Yeah, I think the banks do better. It would be a lighter touch regulatory environment. I don't think it's a deregulatory environment, but it's right sized. Bank M&A would become more efficient. I think the process would speed up, and so you could see more deals, especially as among smaller banks, community banks, some of the smaller regional banks. Still a little tough for the largest regional banks, and the GSIBs, the largest of the large, are still out of the game in terms of M&A. But across the spectrum of banks, I think you would see a return of M&A, and I think investors view a Trump election as positive for banks.
All right, what about energy? I think a lot of people naturally would think that the GOP might be the better pick for the energy sector, but you say that might not be the case, actually.
Yeah, this is one of the things where regulation helps incumbents. It protects them from competition. And I think that's what happened, at least with traditional energy in the Biden administration. They reduced supply and prices stayed elevated. It was good for the incumbents. Traditional energy outperformed during the Biden administration. And so Trump coming in would reverse the policy, open it up. I think it's probably good for consumers, but it's not necessarily good for the industry.